Hello, let's do Wordle for Wednesday, May 27th. Let's play. Yesterday, we spun the wheel, and unfortunately, it landed on Daddy. So we're going to learn something interesting about D's today. All right, so we learned that not only is there not one D, there's also not two D's, and wait for it, not three D's. All right, so we are not a 3D game. All the common letters except A are left, so we kind of need a start that's going to use these without an A, so none of the Saleh anagrams. I'm thinking about either store or stole. I tend to go for those. Let's not walk into ER, so let's do stole instead. There's also stern, but stern kind of walks into ER a bit. Whoa, okay. Starts with ST, that's lucky. I thought of stink and sting. They get each other, so getting one of those might be good right now. But what else is there? There's also stung. Sometimes I get past tenses wrong, like brung instead of brought. But I'm pretty sure it's not stot, it's stung. You got stung, baby. So we have sting and stung and stunk and stink. Okay, so we should guess one of those. I'm just going to go for sting. I think G might be slightly... You know what? We haven't guessed the C yet. So if it's a CK word like stick, I think I want to do the K. So I'm going to do stink, which tests a bunch of those things. Okay, so we eliminated everything I thought of. It's not sting or stink. It's not stung or stunk. And it's not stuck or stick. I do think it's STU, though. Or it's STRU. Oh, it could be strum. Strum is fun. I'm tempted to guess that now. Let's just do it. Oh, okay. So it is STU. I hope there's not too many STUs left. I only have two guesses. It's almost like today I had one fewer guess than normal. It's weird. STU what? Are we repeating an S or a T? Stush, stust, stuff. I'm not seeing how. Stump is gone. Stuff. I always forget about the double F. Stuff might be it. That's always hard to test for. We just have to account for it. Is there anything else? Because stuff isn't going to get anything else, so we shouldn't guess it unless it's the only one left. All right, we're gonna be careful here. So Q, no way. W, no way. How about a repeated T? Stut. Stuff. I just don't see it. S-T-U-T. We're not going to have another U. Words don't end in U other than bayou and snafu. All right. STUP. Not seeing it. Stuff we got. Stug. Studge. Stuz. I think I did well. I think that's just stuff. Alrighty. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a kind of an ST trap. And if you don't use the right words, especially like this stink that I did, you could end up a little trapped. Although they seem to all kind of get each other. But you can imagine that if I'd done sting instead of stink, I would have still had stuck left. So I would have had to eliminate stuck. But stuck would have eliminated strum because it would be STU green. So maybe it wouldn't have been that bad. Anyway, let's spin the wheel and see what tomorrow's is. Oh, right, I already spun it. It's going to be Crisp by Brit Blue. I knew I was going to be extremely late recording this, so I spun it and just posted about it. For those who don't know, I make a YouTube community post and a Facebook post pretty early on what the next starting word is, as soon as I can, as soon as I've spun it. All right, let's do some analysis. So we started. The answer is stuff, and we started with Daddy in hard mode, and I was sent a more in-depth analysis. For those asking, like, why doesn't the bot just have the more in-depth analysis? It can literally take hours to do the analysis. Like it's not something I can do in real time here, and you need to know what the answer was in order to run it. So anyway, I'm going to pull this on up. So Okay, it says clone was the best follow-up. Followed. That's interesting. Clone. So it doesn't walk into ER with clone. And it gets the C instead of getting S or T. I wonder if it's worried about that ST trap at all. It shouldn't be, I don't think. But none of these are ST words. Slice, spilt. Spilt is good. I should remember that one because it doesn't walk into ER. It gets the SL and T. Spilt. We have close, slept, print, but it would go with clone. All right. Let's see where stole is. Stole might lose on one of the OER words. Okay, so because we get the O and the E and we're down a guess, OER is really dangerous there. Okay. So maybe I should switch to something else in this situation. Like, I like spilt. Maybe just clone. I don't know. Alrighty. Let's go back to here. And I did stole. So it says stink is the best follow-up. I picked the best one. There were 14 answers left. What didn't I think of? I didn't think of stunt. But a lot of these have N there. So that's why you want to kind of go there early. Stint. I didn't think of. All right. So I did stink. And then we were down to 4. Strum, strut, stuff, and stump. So it says strum or stump are the best. So I did optimal guesses after stole at least. You don't want to do stuff. That's what I said. Like if you do stuff, it doesn't help you with the other 3. You also don't want to do strut. Because strut does tell you about strum, but it doesn't split up stuff and stump. So anyway, I did strum, and then it was only stuff or stubs. All right. So good analysis from me during my solve. It would have done, what was it, clone? Yes, it was clone. Okay. Clone is all gray. Down to 79 words. It goes first. First is interesting. Yeah, it gets that ST now. But with the F, it's just immediately stuff. Yeah, that's a little lucky. All right. Daddy, clone first stuff. We made, that makes some kind of sentence. All right. How about tails? Its starting word. This has a built-in tree that it downloads because it's fully, tails is fully analyzed by that offline solver, and then actually this downloads the solve. So it can just display it here. So it says shirt is the best follow-up with that ST. And then softy is interesting because that's going to get us stuff right away. But it's tied. It's tied with stoop. And stoop isn't so lucky. We're going to go stunk. And then we could go study stuff. So it really depends on what follow-up we used. We could get, I think it was 4, 5, or 6. Yeah, it was definitely 4, 5, or 6. All right, but it doesn't lose. Steel is going to have that ST in place. Here we're going to go stink, just like I did. It's literally the same solve I did. But we're down to study stuff. So daddy eliminated study. So it could match my 5 if it gets unlucky. All right. Adieu is the most common starting word. With that U, we're going to go court, and then stump, and then stung, and then stuff. Alrighty. Looks familiar. And then audio, that ST trap. I wonder how many people are losing to it, though. With the U, we're going to spurt, just get the good letters. And then we're back to stunk, and then stuff. All right. I wonder how many people guessed stink or stunk today, or sting or stung. We just did audio, so stare is next. Very common starting word. It goes right into that ST. We're going to, guess what? We're going to go stink, but now we're going to go stoop. Okay. And after stoop, it's study or stuff. So, yeah, something along these lines. 5-ish. Trace tries to get in 2. I did run a new analysis, and Trace is no longer the winner. Let me, if you just give me a moment, let me remind myself what the winner actually was. I have the text file here. I might be able to show it to you. If you give me a moment here. All right. What did I save it as is, of course, the question. So I might have to just get you this tomorrow. Okay, I have one idea for finding it. And if this doesn't work, then I will let you know tomorrow. Okay, so... Okay. Yeah, I don't see the text file I saved. So I will get that to you tomorrow. But tomorrow I will have the top words for trying to get it into and how likely they actually are to get it into. All right. So after trace, it goes foist and then stuff. Alrighty. And finally, clasp is what the official bot starts with. After clasp, we go siren. Yeah, just good letters, 2 vowels. All right. Shoot or sooth are both equally good. And after shoot, we're doing study or stuff. So down to that 50-50 again, a 4 or 5. All right, let's see how people did today. I mean, almost everyone has played at this point. We're down to the wire here. It's 11:30 p.m. my time. I actually switched to Hawaii time. So it's 7:30 p.m. according to my computer, just to make sure I had enough time to actually get these done. Oh, I guess I'll have to go back and grab a screenshot later. Give me a 97 skill. I should have had an. I mean, I guess store wasn't quite as good, but the other follow-ups were perfect. Daddy's a skill of 24. Huh. Stole was 93. It wanted tries or trice. Okay. A lot of people doing stern. Stone, store, stole, crest, loser, strep, stein, spire, and tries. I guess some people remembered that I like to do stole now instead of stern. But stern's pretty good too. Just you got to worry a little bit about that ER. Especially with a poor start like Daddy. Stink, it gave a 95. Stink was perfect though. It wants stunk over stink. I don't know about that. Stump and stink were identical. Why would it care? Is it that stink is less likely or something? Let's look down here. Stink is at 7%. No, it's not less likely. I don't know. Why does it like stink? Strum was 99. Stuff was 99. All right. It goes clasp, siren, shoot, study, stuff. Looks pretty familiar. Yeah, it's exactly the same. All right. Point 2. Start with stuff. 1.8. We got a lot of ST words going on here. 12.5. It's really rare for this not to be number 1 on turn 3. 43.9. Because this is the accumulated percentage of people who also got it on turn 1 and turn 2 and on turn 3. And it still doesn't beat people who got stump on turn 3. 43.9. 79.2. That's really low for turn 5. 97.2. So we get a big jump there. People losing on study, which we saw a whole lot. We saw study a ton in the analysis. Stubs was the other option I had. Stung, stuck, stump, stunt. This STU trap is what people are losing on mostly. All right, let's go back and grab the screenshot so I can analyze in normal mode, where people should be doing fillers if they're in traps. But anyway, stuff.png. I wonder how many stuff.pngs I have on my computer. So we'll find out in a second. All right. All right, just the one. Give me a 96 skill. All right, 35 luck. It's interesting that it's harder to get a low skill score on your starter in regular mode. People did stern, store, stone, stole, stein, slope, strep, mommy. Someone did daddy, mommy. 2 people did daddy, mommy, actually. At least. 2% of 159 could be 3 people. Alrighty. 90 skill score for stink. It wanted flunk. It wanted a filler. Makes sense. I think flunk is probably a perfect guess that gets you everything. All right. It goes slate, and then it does pino as a filler, which still includes the T, interestingly. It's looking for where the T is. Then study stuck stuff. So pino got rid of some of that, I guess. It got rid of the N, which is nice for all those stung, stunk, stink, whatevers. All right. Got rid of I and O. Let's see. 0.5 started with stuff. 2%, 11.9, 42.1. So again, turn 3, it's not winning. 77 and then 95.6% solve rate. People losing on the same words. Alrighty. Well, how'd you do?